policy side, we need better policies to unlock capital for more impactful investment. Whether it's on the finance side, we need a proliferation of innovative finances that can be deployed for investment in social enterprise, in businesses in Africa. On the intermediary side, we need more intermediaries who have skills, who have capacity and a track record to move money from investors to our market. And in Africa, that is, we have a debt of that. We've seen the growth of private equity in Nigeria. We've seen the growth of impact funds in Nigeria. We need more. But what are those things that we need? We need some kind of fund of funds financing that can help build the market, strengthen the capacity of local fund managers, and to move funds to the market. On the, I think I'm missing a particular sector. On the demand side, we need more enterprises who have the skills, competence, capacity, the structure, the governance in place, right, to scale as businesses, to receive money from investors and use that money in a way to scale their businesses and to solve social and economic problems within Africa. So a systems approach helps us look holistically where are the pain points and what can we do to accelerate opportunities, whether it's economic opportunities, access to finance for women, access to finance for MSMEs. So that's more of a systems approach towards addressing, and every other things in between, like impact transparency, ensuring that we are measuring our impact, we are reporting our impact with credibility. The fact that access to finance for small business is a huge problem. Report shows that we have about $331 billion gap in financing SMEs. That's a huge problem itself. And we know that SMEs provide about 80% of the jobs for Africa. And same in Nigeria, but close to 90%, right? Now, access to finance, we need to solve it, particularly local finance, which will hedge out foreign exchange risk. And we're seeing what's happening in terms of geopolitics. Every country is looking nationally and regionally. So Africa too needs to take the lead because we have the opportunities here. We need pension funds to invest in the real sector. Pension funds in Africa need to do more apart from investing in government bonds and government financial instruments. We need to put our money where our mouth is in Africa and ramp up local capital from institutional investors to invest in MSME finance. If we get that right, that's great. Secondly, access to finance for women. Gender investment is another huge opportunity. It's a huge gap that our finance is not addressing. That's what we're trying to do on the region of Africa, close the $42 billion gap between SME finance led by men, SMEs led by men, and SMEs led by women. So these are some of the areas where we want to see change. And then again, policy. We want to see policy at a regional level that will support goods, mobility of goods across borders, mobility of finance across borders, reducing the cost of transactions between Nigeria and the next door Niger Republic or Benin Republic. These are some structural changes we want to see in the region.
We're still at the early stage in terms of the whole impact story for Africa. In Nigeria, we started the impact journey in Nigeria in 2019. This is only 2025, so it's only about 6 years old. Not much has been done yet. The building blocks are being built, the foundation is being set, the institution, the ecosystem is being improved and increased on, and the multiple layers of players that can add value to the ecosystem are now learning how to collaborate together in order to build the right system to achieve the goal that is necessary. And that's critical. And the components include government, includes private sector, it includes activists, and supporting that is a lot of other international parties, DFIs, development agencies of all sorts, apart from development funds, You have philanthropic funds that come into that part as well. But building an economic impact investing environment which would naturally attract the right financing itself, not just waiting for charity or any of that. Making it economically viable to put money to impact investing with promise of profitability and return, albeit with different parameters, creating the right measurements, of all the indices so that you can have data. You can also plan because you have the right data, and you can show results that encourage more people to invest in impact investing. Everybody benefits. Think about all the problems we need to solve: education, agriculture, enterprise development, youth employment and youth engagement, and cutting across gender and all of those areas where we have latent assets that we must activate. Impact investing is a key that can help to unlock a lot of value within there, and then help us with economic growth. 50% of our population and global population is female. So it's not rocket science to convince anybody, apart from chairing the Impact Investing Board in Nigeria and being part of the Global Impact Investing Board as vice chair. I serve on the board of 2X Global, which is the largest organization in the world driving gender investing. The reality is, it is smart investment to invest in women. A lot of women are brilliant, they're smart, they're dynamic, they give value, whether they're paid for it or not. So now imagine when you draw that into your economic plan and you rightly train, you rightly empower, and you rightly fund and inspire that other half of your assets, which is human resource. All you can get is phenomenal growth and additional result. And that's really what gender investing is about. It's a business issue. It's not a gender issue. People tend to think what we're talking about is just about women. No, we're talking about you maximizing your economic assets, and women are your economic asset. If they're 50% of your population and you're not investing rightly in them, it means that you're using the other 50%, which is male, to drive the economic investment in 100% of your population. Who does that? And really, in reality right now, there are many women that are single parents, not by choice. Some are widows, some are alone for whatever reason. Sometimes husbands have issues. Women are major economic contributors. Businesses go wrong, people lose jobs. Sometimes women are the ones carrying the burden of the extended family, their parents, their siblings, and all of that. So you don't even need to convince anybody as to why. You need to make sure that you economically empower and derive value from every member of your community, including your women. So it's not a gender issue, it's an economic issue.
So transforming systems is, how do you get impact at the heart of decision making, at the heart of government decision making, so policy levers, at the supply of capital, so that capital is put to work more for impact and for positive social and environmental outcomes, for the intermediaries that need to be put to work, for the demand side of capital. So systems change means building an impact economy and transferring from supply into a much more diversified use of capital so that it really is put to work for positive social and environmental outcomes. I think we've learned quite a bit today about how important it is to focus on women, women-owned businesses, women-led businesses, women as consumers, women as producers. Essentially, that's sort of the POS. If you can identify an investment strategy that enables gender in some way, shape, or form, your return on investment is almost certain to be higher. I think what's interesting about the summit, the study tour, the event in Accra is that it really is bringing all of the parts, as I mentioned, of the ecosystem together. So you have the fund managers, you have the asset owners, you have the policymakers, you have a number of organizations that are present that are representing that, how do you really support enterprises and build an enabling environment to unlock impact capital. So I think the opportunity is, the networking opportunity is tremendous, and just understanding who people are within the ecosystem to be able to work together is amazing.
We are still continuing the ongoing debates how we need to deepen investment, impact investment, continuing the transformation of this ecosystem and economic setups to be able to encourage younger minds, especially the youthful population of Africa, to deepen their investments, create an enabling environment for them, and then help them to have access to capital to grow small and medium scale enterprises, and by so doing also grow the economy. When we grow the microeconomy together, the macroeconomy expands. Every leader in Africa, every country will set its own tone to help her citizens deepen their impact investment. Fortunately for us in Nigeria, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GSG has created an enabling environment. They have deepened that investment sector and also liberalized the sector so that the naira can gain stability. Now, funds have been released and a lot of promotion of startups to empower the youth through consumer credit scheme and other initiatives the government has brought in has helped our youth to go into impact investing. And that's one. Second is access to capital. Government too has also made access to capital available for young minds through the various loans and grants given through the various government financial agencies that also provide such. That's second problem that may happen if it's not there. But the third one is capacity building. The youth need to demonstrate strong capacity in knowing how to invest into the economy, and that also government has through the private agencies to be able to provide startups, educational grants, and enabling environment and places where talents could be groomed to learn how to impact into investment. Above all, Africa has a very vibrant youth population, and the largest of it is found in Africa. I mean, Nigeria being the largest country. So we take the lead, and we are showing an example how we can achieve and deepen impact investment. So the conversation is still ongoing. We are having a gradual growth. Economy is picking up, and as Nigeria becomes stronger, we know it to affect the rest of Africa.
I think the business as usual is not going to work anymore, as we've seen with all the withdrawal of funding to Africa. So we have to look locally. We have to galvanize local capital. So the ecosystem has to see, how do we draw this capital out? What sort of structures will we make, financial structures in terms of instruments and that sort of thing, will make different investor classes come into the space? Because they're very easy ways to invest your money than PE, VC, and that sort of thing. So we need to figure out, how do we get local capital in? It's been the dependence on the international funders. It's changing. That landscape is changing. And my biggest takeaway from that is that you can't do it alone. It's gonna be an ecosystem approach. You have to get everybody at the table to see, let's find the win-win that's really gonna grow the economy. We need to take climate seriously. The climate change is real. Don't get it twisted. It is very real. So looking at solutions that are affordable and sustainable. We can't have businesses going into the space that they cannot make commercial returns and be sustainable on their own. They can't depend continuously on grant funding. What sort of solutions, homegrown solutions to meet these climate problems that are coming, can be made and made that can scale? I think that, for me, is what we all need to look at. And that's why also catalytic capital for that, because they need to think of different business models that will work for this market.
For us, impact is everything an investment helps generate. So one, you're looking to invest to generate a profit, but also you're creating jobs, you're ensuring taxes are paid, you're giving an opportunity for job providers or job people working, employees, to create a living and help improve living standards for their families and wider ecosystem they're connected to. Impact also stretches further to other stakeholders, suppliers to businesses, as well as buyers of products, that they're buying high quality products. In addition, you have environmental impacts where you're looking to improve air quality, reduce emissions, polluting emissions, and so just a wide variety and swath of things that investing helps provide more positive impacts for communities. Gender lens is very critical. I mean, women are 50% just about of the population. We've made more than a tilt, but actually building an infrastructure to help support women-owned businesses and through helping create more female fund managers. And we're doing that through three primary pillars and following a certain framework called ABCD. The ABCD framework shapes those three pillars. One is accelerating, so providing an accelerator for female fund managers to train them. We've taken 45 female fund managers through that over the past 2 years. We have a bridging facility, the B, a warehouse bridging facility to help female fund managers invest in initial transactions to help build and demonstrate their track record for other investors to then come in. And then we have the catalyzing, where the fund we're putting together will attract other investors to catalyze the female fund managers that we've helped bring into existence through the accelerator, through the bridging facility. And then as we catalyze them, we further help them deepen the work they're doing through various financial and legal and operational support that we've developed through the years in our existence to bring to bear for these female fund managers.